Tomb of the Spider Queen, and the first pick ban going on the side of the Ponies.
The Ponies. Oh man, we're seeing a lot of the Spider Queen today, and it's such a good map. The lanes are so close that I feel like you need a lot of heroes that can rotate really really well. We saw Murky, we saw an Abathur combo, we've seen Zeratul, and we've even seen Gazlo. Like you said, I don't expect such trolley picks here. These two teams might actually be a lot closer than the previous two rounds we've casted, so they're gonna have to bring out their game faces here and really show what they're made of. The first ban coming out, Kerrigan, makes sense, especially after the last match. We saw Kerrigan just having so much potential to set up, stuns and combos that sync so well with other heroes.
Yeah, Kerrigan is rough. She's harsh, she hurts, and she is just angry about everything in her life.
Yeah, I just feel like if used correctly, if you have a high skilled player with those mechanics, she's gonna shine. And if you have a player that's gonna miss a lot of things, she's not gonna shine. I know personally that Tiger JK loves to play Kerrigan. I don't know how knowledgeable ponies are going against Blink and the players that are on their team, but I would assume that they know each other a little bit and know what characters are favored on which players from each team. Hopefully, at least in Pony's sake.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. But KT having that ban is it's nice. It is Spider Queen, but there's so many other big picks that can be grabbed early. If you want to go for damage, Jaina seems like the likely pickup, or Sylvanas. And on the double pick side, we tend to see more of like just solid pairings. Maybe Tassadar, who knows?
Yeah, the thing about heroes is a lot of the characters have good partners. You see Kerrigan, you see Tyrande, you see uh, Jaina, you see, Sylvanas, whoever, or even double mages. We already see the KT banned out, so that combo is not going to be there. But Jaina could be a strong pick, or possibly, I don't know. Like, we've seen a lot of weird stuff today, like a lot of Vala first picks. Oh, and it was Jaina, as I suspected, and Sylvanas.
All right, yeah. I mean, we said both of them as being the early potential. They grab both of them. Brightwing is a great pickup to have because Brightwing makes the potential for promote compositions. Promote composition, of course, that's a talent that buffs the minion's health by 300% and the damage by 100% for 30 seconds.
And it's definitely a strong thing in NA. We haven't seen it as much in EU. They've kind of made a little bit of a joke of it this past week or two in some online tournaments. But it's a strong, strong, strong meta in NA right now to run a lot of promote and push those lanes. Make sure that it's harder to soak and that they have to dedicate heroes to lanes to cleaning it up. Um, so like you said, Brightwing being a very strong pick, and Blank, of course, going with the Sylvanas and Jaina, just a lot of damage. And Sylvanas, we saw this earlier, a lot of push potential, a lot of control in lane.
Yeah, so this is a single band draft. I'm getting this sorted.
Uh-oh.
They're gonna
Just
have to
do it by
remake.
paper?
They're just gonna remake it.
And
It
play
it
it
won't.
out the same way, or
Yeah, yeah. Michael Udall is making it very quickly. They're just gonna redo it. It won't take more than 30 seconds to get back up to where we are right now. But yes, slight technical difficulty. There are actually two different versions. That's gonna be a chat. Let's get that corrected. Yeah, that's Huck's beautiful face. Good.
so are they gonna play this out the same exact way and just do the same bands that they did, or are they starting
Yes,
with
they're
real? Okay.
committed to those bands.
Okay. Well, that's good. So pretty much the same thing we're gonna go through. What are you expecting from Ponies here? With they already banned out Kerrigan, they already picked up Brightwing. Do you think they're gonna still pick those solid standard, pairings,
I think
or
they'll probably go for a promote composition, honestly. I think Tassadar and anything, maybe probably Tassadar Muradin, maybe, or
Mhm.
maybe they do want to lock in a big damage. They're like Illidan. Tassadar Illidan would be a strong pickup, and it gives them a lot of different options to go from at that point in time. It makes Abathur a threat. It makes Uther a threat for Divine Shield. I mean, it really makes them have to think about a lot of different things.
Yeah, all those heroes you mentioned being like pretty healthy, with a lot of options for protection. Tazir with a Brightwing, that's just a lot of sustain in lane, and like you said, couple that with the promote comp, they're just gonna have a lot of control, and hopefully they can escalate that into getting enough objectives, getting enough forts that they can propel themselves into some kind of advantage. It seems like the longer the game goes right now, if they pick the way we want them to, the better it is for Blank, the worse it is for Ponies. So Blank's going to be looking to hold on and be aggressive and pick off heroes, where hopefully Ponies will be looking to keep it together, stay in team fights, and stay in control by using that promote comp.
Yeah, very true. But all right, the draft is now going to recommence where we left off. They do, in fact, have to do it very quickly, but it should not take more than a few seconds to do that. And it'll be starting in just about, oh yeah, here's just the map bands.
Who do you think is the best player that is on blank?
It's tough to say. Tiger JK is a really strong warrior. Aragi has played a top level for a long time in EU. All of them are very good, but Tiger JK specifically, I'm a big fan of his play.
Big fan.
And I think I said he's a warrior before. He is totally not a warrior player. He's known for his Tyrande. He's known for.
I think he's just a solid player.
Yeah, he just plays
Period.
everything. I've seen him play everything, and I've played with him on just about every role.
Hmm. So everything's gonna come out as usual. They changed the team name, but that is Ponies on the right-hand side. Do not be confused.
Ponies. Yeah, that's fine art.
And now it's gonna get interesting. This is where we picked off
Yep.
from the last round. And I think we're gonna see Tazadar, and then I don't know other than that.
Yeah, see, task makes sense because it's double promote, right? We already talked about this, but for the other pickups, it's like it's really how they want to dictate the rest of the draft. There will be bans after this, so they can say, well, if we grab task, we have all the support we need, and then we can just ban out Uther, and they're in a tight spot. But do they also? Okay, a noob also has the Beatles, and he's a
Yeah,
strong warrior pick.
but he just has a lot of stun and disengage. He has a good
Hmm.
escape. It can be used in multiple ways. And then on top of that, like you said, the Beatles are always, always annoying, especially on a map like this where you have two objectives that are very, very important. And if you have a beetle constantly attacking you, you don't want to stop to do spells. Oh, and the Illidan come down.
Yeah,
Huh. So I don't know. I feel like they need something more to protect that Illidan on the pony side.
yeah,
So we'll probably
they
see that on the last two picks.
But this could be a good opportunity to actually ban out Tassadar. Um, Now, it will in fact be blank having two picks after the ban does happen, so maybe they want to leave Tassadar for their own. But I really can't. I don't think they can let him be picked up either way
Yeah.
for
So they have
ponies.
to either pick him or ban him. Hopefully.
Yes, I would have to agree with that. Uther also not. Uther will likely be banned out on the other side, so they are going to respect the threat of Illidan with Abathur Hat. I think we will end up seeing Uther removed.
Yeah, I mean, as already having the Brightwing and having a really, really good support, it'd be nice to eliminate that option for blank. And
Yeah.
Zertal's still on the field. I mean, there's no Zertal right now, so Tazadar, I guess, is a slightly weaker pick just because neither side has picked him up. Uh,
Banning Zertal's not a bad
Still,
idea either, though.
yeah, I mean, it would be a good last pick, I think, if you know that Tazadar is off the field for blank, but they don't have that option currently. We'll see.
Johanna, they're worried about the warrior. So this will pretty much guarantee that we will see Muradin in some form, and it
Oh,
will be Zeratul picked up. And they can also grab Uther here. It doesn't seem crucial. They'll probably go for Muradin instead, just to deny the Muradin Anubarak.
yeah, that combo can definitely be deadly just because there's so much meat and there's so much stun and chain combos that can happen.
Is that like church bells?
Yeah, I live in a cathedral.
Really?
No, I don't live in a cathedral, but it's there's a church maybe half a mile away, or not. No, not half a mile. Like I don't know, not that far. Why do you like it?
Oh, it's my jam.
This your jam? This your thing? Yeah, it happens every day at noon and 6.
It's good life.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful day in Canada.
Oh, you're in Canada.
Yeah.
I thought you were in New York for some reason. Okay.
No,
All
I
right.
was not too long ago, but yeah.
All right, Muradin is going to be the pickup, so that's the smart call because Muradin would almost guaranteed be sniped by the ponies, as Muradin and Ubrak is a quite powerful composition that gives a lot of help clear for Illidan, but at the same time, he.
Isn't Taz more like a logical pick now that Zertal's been picked up, or
Oh yeah,
no?
oh yeah,
So,
Tassadar is like a guaranteed.
but I feel like they didn't. I don't know. I would have liked to seen Tazadar banned out maybe from Blank's side if they thought that through more, but maybe they're not threatened by him. Maybe they feel very comfortable.
Tychus, okay,
Wow,
so There's a big emphasis on push with this composition. Tychus will end up getting melting point. Melting point is just evaporates minions and structures. They have double promote, and then the beat will likely see a beetle build out of a new Barak. What will the final pick be by Blank?
Yeah, it feels like Blank has a lot of pick potential, and they do pick up the Malfurion support, so they do have a little bit of heals. And it seems like Blank is going to want to, separate the heroes, pick them off, keep attacking and
Yeah.
being aggressive. And then, as you said, Team Ponies is going to want to group up, get big pushes going, keep them separating, keep those lanes constantly hammering down with all that push potential. So it's nice to see a strategy tailored strictly to the build now, because so far we've seen kind of more standard picks, and this one specifically, this is a push build, or that's what we're suspecting.
It's yeah, especially in Tomb of the Spider Queen, when you give all that kind of extra push, the extra beef to the minions, when you already have web weavers, it's nice, but to the side of Blank, they actually do have Sylvanas, and that's really going to help them deal with that quite a bit. And also on the table, they have Jaina, so their lane clear potential is quite high. It's going to be an interesting game. It's a battle of heroics as always. But both teams have very good compositions. I really can't say one team is significantly better than the other.
Yeah, it's just going to be push versus defense, I feel. But like you said, they have really good clearing. I want to give the slight edge to Blink skill-wise overall, but Ponies I feel like are a lot more dedicated to a certain strategy on the map. And I think both teams are skilled enough where they recognize it like we do. They know what the game's going to be about. It's just whether they can execute or not.
Very true. Well, the players are, in fact, readying up. 10 out of 10 have hit that ready button. And here we go into the first game of this Best of 3 series on Tomb of the Spider Queen. But we're now about to hit that wall of a loading screen.
The wall.
How fast is it today, Huck? Do you believe?
I believe, man. I definitely believe.
It's going.
We've been blazing through games, man. It's been fun. Been a good pace, and luckily the matches have rolled into each other very nicely as well. Not too much downtime. Can't wait to get this match started.
Yeah, it's going to be going very soon. And yeah, the pacing now today this is a 2-day event for anyone that was not aware of that. We do see that this is the third match on our stream, and there will be Bella versus Cole. Complexity will be the next match. After that, there is 2 more games. We will follow the winning team for the duration of the night, so it'll be a little bit smoother going into the round of 32 or the round of 16 and 32. So very likely we're going to end up following Cole, but Bella, they can make it happen for sure.
Yeah, it just everybody has so much opportunity here, and then on top of that, we'll be going by the same schedule tomorrow, same time, same general presence. Starting at 3 p.m. East, 12 PDT, and then going on, maybe 6 matches, 7 matches, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's like, because the way the event is working is you're not necessarily always starting the whole tournament in the round of 128, because basically half the bracket started today, and they'll start half the bracket tomorrow.
This is interesting. We got a barcode on the Sylvanas, a little StarCraft 2 action, hide his identity.
He actually goes by the name Barcode Hots. That's his name in the community, and
really,
he's very well known. So Tiger JK on Zeratul. That's left side. That's Blank. Right side, the red team is going to be the Pomona Ponies, or just the
Ponies.
Promote the Ponies.
All right, I'm for it. And they have like little pony mounts too on this Tychus, so that's cute. Immediately throwing up a lot of vision. Tazadar, spotting out the Zeratul. Zeratul trying to deny vision as much as possible. We are going to see Tiger on this Zeratul, and we're just going to gradually see the Brightwing drop down, start getting to position, start soaking, and on the top lane we're going to see this Illidan versus Sylvanas in mid, that 3v4 mismatch as Zeratul drops down.
Definitely a bit of a mismatch, but yeah, Tassadar will be a good response to Tiger JK. He's just going to apply a bit of damage to Brightwing, but the self-heal from Brightwing will be happy to just keep her alive. But with this big rotation, he does need to watch out. The root is there, the Stormbolt to get the stun, and that will be the first takedown of the game.
Yeah, Malfurion's so good with that root. If you can hit people, or even zone, it's just such a good ability to set up any kind of follow-up from your team members. And we're going to constantly seeing Team Blank just rotate up and down with the Zeratul and just try to push out these lanes and try to defend the lanes that are being pushed more and try to get a gank off of it. And Zertal's setting up on this Illidan. It's going to do a good amount of damage to him. Sylvanas following up with some damage as well, and he's going to have to tap. He does tap, gets a little drink, and actually Pony's kind of setting up on their own, trying to figure out where they can get some tempo, where they can feel a little breathing room, and hopefully that they can get a pick eventually. Taika is going to come up behind this Malfurion and start laying down some damage.
Even the one hero they've lost, they've done a great job just keeping pace in this game. They're really just very slightly behind in the experience. Even when Brightwing fell in the bottom lane, Anubarak was quick to rotate, so they have the great sense of how to play on this map, but they need to be careful of Aragi going for it. A beautiful polymorph to buy time for Hotshot GG.
Hotshot JJ. Yeah. Cute name.
Yeah. It is a good name, but he's gonna live on.
Yeah, they just need to focus on defending. This map's so small and the lanes are so close that it's really easy to rotate up and down, and they need to be calling out to each other, letting each other know where Zeratul is, where the team members are, so they know how far they can be in that lane and how much pushing potential they have. Right now, we're just seeing a lot of rotation. Zeratul up top, trying to get some more kills. Getting this Illidan really low and actually killing him. Tazir kind of in danger, but gonna pull back and throw down the storm as he does, and they're going to try to deposit some gems, probably going to get them off. Nubarak's going to come and poke.
Okay, this is actually really weird though. So we see level 4 hit. This is when I was really expecting to see everything pan out, but Tassadar is going for the mental acuity, so it's going to reduce the cooldown on his Oracle significantly. That reduces the cooldown by 15 full seconds. It's a lot, and
primarily because of the Zeratul, I presume?
Yes, it's Zeratul and just the rotations that they're already facing. It's a nice reactionary pickup. The rest of the composition is really just, this is area of effect, more damage. The promote, we do see Melting Point. That's going to just melt through the minions and the Beetle build, full Beetle build out of Anubarak.
Yeah, so besides the Tazadar adjustment, I guess maybe that was like an on-the-fly call. They were like,
yes,
we're having a lot of trouble, you know, staying on par with these guys. They're rotating a lot. Let's try to minimize that and just continue to our plan.
It's a smart pickup, but it is going a bit away from that push style. But we do see Pally rotating down. Tiger JK does have eyes on. He's well aware of this, but wow, Pally responds to the cloaked Zeratul.
Yeah, Pally going for a little kiss with that Zeratul. I don't think either player noticed it for a little bit, and then finally queuing up and facing each other for a duel. Team members in position to respond, and Zeratul just constantly moving back and forth, back and forth. Hotshot GG actually going to get the deposit out just as the Zeratul jumps on him, but Tazar is there to respond in kind and drops down the shield and might escalate into a team fight. Everybody's trying to get into position, but it's really difficult with so much fog and vision. Root going down on Anubarak, not the best choice. The shield's going to bleed a little bit, but he's still not taking that much full damage, and Sylvanas at the top, meanwhile, is constantly pushing this lane, trying to keep the Illidan back.
Yeah, this is tough because level 7 is about to be reached by Blank. Blank, with that talent advantage, will be able to really bully back the entire team of the Ponies. And we can see they're just kind of conceding that aggression that they had going on, collecting the gems the best they can. 17 turned in for both teams at this point in time.
Yeah, so much vision from Ponies. They're just constantly trying to keep track, and both teams just fighting for vision on that objective, on those choke points, making sure that they could see the rotations, and both teams constantly denying it as well. So right now it's just kind of a battle for pace of the game, for position, and so far Blank has been winning out, and they can see the benefit of that by almost being a complete level up.
Yeah. It's a nice level lead for them. They also have 40 gems sitting in the bank with 43 already turned in. Horsepants has the next 10. Only 7 go in, and that will summon the Web Weavers. If they didn't have the advantage with that level lead, they definitely have it with the Web Weavers.
And they're immediately going to go start their Bruiser Camp. Ponies, on the other hand, not starting their Bruiser Camp. It might be a slight mistake. I feel like it's always optimal to get that camp going just as the spiders are going to come down, and by the time they're ready to push, you should have it done. Looks like they actually might try to go contest it. Hotshot GG getting in there, getting on the point.
Oh, this is huge. That was
to give it up.
Impale.
Wow.
Yeah, that is big. Hawk getting in there, stealing those bruisers. Nicely done, but they might be a little bit sandwiched here. Aragi with the Stormbolt has been used. They're very, very clumped at this point in time, and we do see Michael Udall over the wall with that Blizzard raining down, hitting 2 targets. Pally has the first aid. The shield comes up from Tassadar. Will it be enough? The root connecting.
Yeah, Illidan getting in trouble. He's really low. The Venom's going to bleed off, but Tazar throws down the shield. Barely saves him. All in all, good retreat. They all stuck together. They made sure they all made it out alive, and now they need to clean up these Spider Queens as fast as possible. Lane's being pushed, but that Bruiser Camp did help a little bit by delaying the smaller creeps, the base creeps coming through the lane, and they just need to try to catch up. Try to clear these Spider Queens, because these have been doing a good amount of damage that whole time as they were retreating. And the Sylvanas is going to really delay this fort, do a lot of damage. 4 members down here committed to stopping this, and they're having a lot of trouble. A lot of damage going down on this fort. The fort's not shooting. Sylvanas doing a great job of keeping it at bay, and the Spider's still alive.
It's rough, man. Sylvanas just soaks up all those shots by turning them off, and it allows you to push so very convincingly. But level 10 has in fact been reached, and this is a big window, a 2-level advantage here for Blank. They've really taken that one turn in and pushed it to a massive advantage.
Yeah, it all came down to Ponies getting the Bruiser Camp, but at the same time, as they were retreating, Blank delaying that retreat as much as possible so that those Spider Queens could. And we got the Void Prism going down. They're going to set up here. The Root coming down, Jaina throwing down a light, and just blown up. Less than a second, 2 members just immediately dropped. Everything being set up off of that Void Prism, and what can you do? As soon as that goes down, you can't do anything.
Yeah,
that's just 2 members gone.
That's the power of VP. It just sets up those combos that we saw there. And we have the constant rotation coming out of Blank. They took out 2 forts already. They're sitting on 61 gems, which is more than enough for yet another summon on those Web Weavers. And the middle fort is looking quite tasty.
Yeah, they're just going to try to keep snowballing their advantage into bigger and bigger leads, and with the Sylvanas, there's no reason why they shouldn't. They have so much potential to clear these waves, getting on that fort, and delaying the fort from shooting as well. Their own wave pushing up here, and there's only 3 members to defend against 5, and this fort is a non-factor with the Sylvanas. They need to pull everybody here and try to defend.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We do see the pressure moving on into this. We do see the Root go down, but not going to actually connect with anyone. Nice Bird Charge going forward, but that fort is getting quite low. Tyke is doing his best to bully them back, but it's not really going to dissuade them until they have those heroics.
Yeah, they really need to reach level 10. They need to clear this wave. They need Tazadar Storm to come down. They need to get those creeps off of the fort so they can actually get a good engage. But it looks like the fort's going to go down before they can reach level 10, and all of a sudden now, it's 12-9. Even when they get 10, they're going to be down with 1 whole level point.
Yep, yeah.
And they're gonna redeposit too.
That's another summon on the Web Weavers, but they do have those heroics. We are actually seeing Force Wall, Emerald Wind, Metamorphosis. This is a ton of control with the Locust Swarm and the Odin being the primary forms of damage. This is going to be
a fight.
Yeah.
We're going to see a big fight. He could just wall them in.
Oh my goodness. We see everything goes down, but specifically Tychus got absolutely melted, and there's the Emerald Wave.
And now Mouth's going to pop his heroic. Everybody's going to stay alive, and they're going to continue to lay down the damage. Illidan way deep, 5v1. Burden's too busy retreating. Tazadar throwing down shields, trying to live, but at this point, there's just way too much damage coming out of Blank.
And they kept these bruisers leashed so that they could grab them while the Web Weavers have marched down this lane. All 3 lanes will be pushed, but specifically the bottom one, that seems to be their target.
Yeah, Spider Queen's going to come up. Sylvanas is going to deactivate these towers. 3 more members of Ponies comes up, but at the same time, they got to defend top, they got to defend bottom. The gate's already going to go down, and they have so much health. They just have too much potential. Murden's the only one a little bit. He's maybe got 80%, but everybody else full HP, enough mana to take a main engagement. And Zertal immediately jumping down on this Illidan. Illidan dropped down to half health, getting a shield, just getting poked down constantly by this Jaina as well.
Yeah, this is rough. They're looking so strong right now. Blank moving forward constantly with that Zeratul. The Force Wall goes out trying to lock him in, but not quite getting that success. And the Web Weaver, the final one, will end up dissipating. Only 12 gems are needed to turn in on the side of the Ponies, and they really need to make it happen.
Yeah, Ponies need to collect themselves and find some room to breathe, because so far, it's just been a non-stop defense by them. They just don't have the opportunity to get on the map and deposit any objective at all. And meanwhile, you know, Blank's just continuing to pace back and forth, doing objectives, dropping gems, doing the bruiser camps, pushing lanes, pulling down forts, and they're just all over them at this point. Little Ataka, 24 gems, get him in there, man. It's gonna drop down a beetle, and Illidan's gonna try to buy time in the north. and they do get it. So this is their opportunity to try to make something happen, but it doesn't feel like Blank is feeling the burn or pressure at all. They seem calm, cool, and collected. And the Spider Queens are going to come down here. All 5 members of Ponies are going to group up. VP is going to go down. He gets 3 members. Jaina's going to try to set up. She drops her heroic. Anubrak's going to go down as well. He's got a little bit of help. He's going to bleed out from the Venom. And they're just going to keep on top of him. Illidan types out an LOL. He's obviously not happy. And they're just going to keep burning them down. Pony's really struggling. Even when they have the Spider Queens drop, they're losing main engagements. And Zeratil's just fearless, constantly going in, constantly setting up those Void Prisms, and constantly setting up those key combos that are dropping Pony members one after another. You still there, Jakey?
Oh, I am apparently muted. That is actually just tragic. Rip me. Thank you for calling me out. But yeah, they got deleted in that fight, man. The Void Prism with the Wailing Arrow. Just decimation on their side. And we do have 64 yet again. That is going to be enough for Blank to get another summon on the Web Weavers.
Yeah, and this is the 3rd one for them, where on the other side, Ponies has only had 1, and then even their 1, they struggled to get any tempo off of it at all. They're going to need to do a really good job of not only cleaning this up, but taking a very good engagement if they want any chance of coming back into this game at this point. They're all grouped up, 5v5, both teams top. Zeratil's going to run in, engage on the Brightwing. Anubrak's going to try to disengage. Tassadar is force walling a lot of them out. Muradin's 5v1 deep in the paint here, but he's not really in any danger.
No, not at all. Aragi is being so aggressive with Muradin too, and he's such a massive threat because if he locks one of them down, it's tragic. They have to follow up with the root. Jaina's slows in general. In the 3-level advantage, that's a level 16 to 13 talent tier advantage, and the damage is significant. We can see the Sylvanas just locking everything down. They're getting quite aggressive, especially with that web in the force wall. It can't stop this.
VP goes down to set up. Is Jaina going to get in here again? Illidan tries to counter by metamorphosing in the back. Jaina's going to blow up 2 members. Zeratil's going to follow up. And Illidan's just spending his whole time retreating. Tassadar trying to buy time. Everybody trying to disengage. Meanwhile, just bleeding out.
Yeah, that was a really nice force wall, really just keeping them alive for the moment, but is it too little too late? I think so. We do see that 2 of the keeps have fallen at this point. Time top Weaver is just about to fall. Middle keep gonna be highly pressured, and these shields are already being sieged up.
Yeah, and the Shrine's already starting to take damage. They just don't have anything to counter all these engages. The Void Prism just sets everything up perfectly. They pick when and where and why they want to fight. And Nubrak's trying to get in there, trying to get something going. Gets a lot of stuns. Brightwing gets in, separates a lot of the members. Can they clean up though? Muradin's low. Nubrak's got a sliver of health. He's going to have to retreat. And Sylvanas just doing so much damage. Zeratil unchallenged, chasing members down. It's just, I feel like they needed that engagement a lot earlier, not at 18 to 14. The Shrine's going to get taken down, and they're just going to keep microing around it, avoiding the talents of a Nubrak.
It's going to be it, Huck. I think the game should end here. We do see they're quite low. Dwarf Toss going in to eliminate Anubarak. We do see Alterations is going to make it back into the base, but the damage is being dealt. The Blizzard will remove Illidan from the game, and that's GG. Game 1 goes to Blank.
Yeah, I feel like the Jaina Zeratil combo just absolutely destroyed here. It's a combo we're going to see more and more often. The Void Prism just setting everything up. You got a nice 2-3 member chain spell with Jaina. You can just line it up, and we see it in the damage. 29,000 damage from Jaina.
That's so much damage. I mean, we can look at it here. Top in the charts, Tassadar. Top in the charts on the opposing side. Illidan was never really able to get into the front line. Every time he moved in there, he would be greeted by roots, and just Tiger JK and Jaina were like hunting him time and time again.
Yeah, I feel like Illidan, it's you either absolutely control the game, and Illidan's deep in there, and you have your whole team supporting him, or he's spending his whole time trying not to die. And if he's spending the whole time trying not to die, he's not going to be doing any damage, and that's the case we've seen a lot today. Either the Illidan makes the game or breaks the game, and it seems like in that last game, he broke the game. He really didn't do anything, and it's not necessarily even his fault.
Oh, it's not the player's fault. It's just the state of the match. When you're down 2 to 3 levels,
you can't do much. You go in, and then you're like, okay, I'm about to die. I have to retreat, and you're just retreating the whole time.
Exactly. It's tough, but that's the power of these guys. A very seasoned crew of players that have been playing on several teams do take game number one for Team Blank. But the Ponies, they looked good in the draft. They really seem to have a good grasp on how to rotate, how to make sure they're soaking the lanes, and just playing the map in general. I just think a little bit more synergy in those team fights and a little bit more confidence going into the fights is what they need.
Yeah, that's been the story of today. I feel like the teams that came in here and played, unafraid, unnervous, not anxious, and they just kind of went balls to the wall, man, and just made it happen.
Right.
Those are the teams that have been pulling out ahead. And the teams that seemed, more reserved, kind of questioned themselves, some of the members, going very deep, some of the members like retreating, uncoordinated, that's how you lose team fights. It's always said that when listening to a call, it's better to follow a bad call than not listen to a call at all. So if someone says something, they say, "All right, we need to engage here." You better get your butt into gear and engage there. And I would love to hear what these teams have to say. But maybe we'll hear that later down in the road. I would love to do like some kind of sequence of hearing members at the end of a game calling out to each other, do like a highlight reel, something like that.
That would be really fun. Maybe we can do that. I could probably try to get that set up for tomorrow to some regard, but today we're kind of stuck with what we
Well,
have,
yeah, no,
unfortunately.
like maybe round of eight,
Ah,
later a
okay,
few
okay.
months, stuff like that. That would be very interesting.
It would indeed. But all right, guys. Well, we're gonna try to get the second lobby set up and ready to roll. Just gonna throw to a very short break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay with us and be sure to tweet about this on social media. Alrighty, guys, welcome back here to the Road to BlizzCon NA Open with Huck and Jake, and it is draft time.
Huck and Jake. Sounds so cute together.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh,
Huck
that makes me
and Jake
happy.
sit in the tree.
Oh, God.
No, no, not like that. Not like that.
That got real serious real fast, because clearly singing songs about trees is
We're gonna see
esports.
what Dragonshire? Is that the map?
The map is, in fact, Dragonshire for the first time today for
Yeah,
us.
my favorite map too, I would say.
Ooh. Why
So
is that,
exciting.
Huck? Tell me.
Just the way it plays out, that there's not such a concrete timetable as far as when the shrines come into play, or like when the dragon is necessarily taken. Of course
Hmm.
they're activated at a certain time, but that whether a team actually can get their dragon, who knows? It doesn't play out so standard where
True.
there's going to be a certain amount of gems dropped, or that the haunted mines are going to open up at a certain time, where coins going to be gathered. This is more like position, and it's more uncertain, which I think is more interesting because it can play out in so many different ways.
Well, I
Nah,
just I just shoved a kind bar in my mouth, so disregard my existence for a brief moment. But we do see that Brightwing is going to be the first pickup on the side of the Ponies. I don't know why they can't write Ponies.
no, they want to make it difficult. It's okay, and they are going to ban out that Zertal, which makes sense considering last game those Void Prisms really set up everything that Blink wanted, and it was such a hindrance. And on the other side of Blink, they're going to ban out KT. I don't know if that's like a particular ban towards Ponies,
Hmm. Yeah.
pull, or they're just like, you know what, we don't want to play against that. And Ponies are actually going to pick up Jaina, the other strong mage, and Blink's going to pick up Sylvanas. So very standard top tier picks and bans from both sides. I think Zertal becoming a lot stronger even within the last 2 weeks is very
I
interesting. Very, very interesting. Because it's
it's
always been a character that's like been strong and then a little bit weaker and then stronger and then a little bit weaker. And it's interesting to see a character not go through that many changes, but the potential of that character, being seen throughout the history of the last year or so of Blitz Heroes.
all right. Well, Kerrigan and Sylvanas have been picked up, but this time they can't get that Jaina to go with it. Other pickups that are quite powerful on this map are Lost Vikings. We haven't seen them played yet today. I know Huck very much likes watching them played, and the power of Vikings is to split up in multiple lanes, and also you can throw just a single Viking in the Dragonite if you do have the opportunity.
Yep, it's a very strong pick because of that reason, as well as on the Garden Terror map, because once again you can throw one of the smaller Vikings even into the Dragon or the Garden Terror. At the same time, this map's one of the bigger maps, I would say, definitely compared to something like Spider Queen or Haunted Mines. And the bigger the map, the more soaking, the harder the rotations, and those are all things that, if played properly, the Vikings do excel at.
All right, well, they're thinking about this ban quite a bit right now. What would you like to see?
Personally, I would like to see a ban on. Huh. I'm trying to think just blank strong heroes. Maybe like
Hmm.
I don't know. I would want to say Falstad, but it doesn't. The composition. I mean, they don't even need Falstad at this point. I feel like Blank's kind of outdrafted Ponies already. They got that Kerrigan. I think Tiger's going to probably play the Kerrigan, and it's just something he's very, very good at. But they
Yeah.
needed to ban the Zertul. Maybe, maybe a Tazadar ban, but they don't even need the Tazadar because the Zertul's already banned out. It's really hard to say. What do you think?
They're going to go for Muradin. I was like, Muradin's actually pretty smart. I have to give them props. I was thinking about Nubarak actually, but the thing about Muradin is he has the extra stuns that pair so well with Kerrigan. We actually see a Nubarak band out on the opposing side, so in a lot of ways, this could force them to go with Johanna as that next big priority healer. And yeah, on the other side, though, what else could they get for damage? Tassadar, another safe pick, but they need to get big damage dealers.
Yeah, Johanna for the stun slash warrior tankiness is really useful. Um, Brightwing obviously being a really good support, all the healing they need. And Uther on the other side, probably slightly less than the Brightwing, but still very useful. It's more about damage at this point and stun. And yeah, we do see that Johanna coming out from Ponies. And it'll be interesting to see how Blank is able to like counter this composition because so far they have all the damage they would want. I feel in Sylvanas and Kerrigan. Adding a little bit more will help, of course, but they really need to formulate their front line and make sure that Sylvanas can't be jumped on.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm very curious as to who they're actually going to grab. With Johanna off the table, they might have to go for someone like Arthas, which is very
Yeah.
uncommon. Or even Tyrael is like fine, but he's not as good as Peeling. He's more for an initiation, and you already have such strong initiation with Kerrigan. I don't know if the
Do you
synergy makes sense.
do you feel like it would have been better for Blank not to ban the Nubarak? Because I don't feel like Ponies would have picked both Johanna and Anubarak. And I feel like by banning
Hmm.
two strong warriors, one from each team, it limited their own options, as
In a
far
lot
as
of
picking a
ways, yeah,
hero
but
that could.
honestly, they could have something in mind. I feel like they knew exactly what they were doing. Kind of forcing Johanna is probably what they wanted, because
Mhm.
Johanna is more of a peel, and there's not this big beefy backline of damage just yet, right? It's really just Jaina that Johanna's peeling for. What other heroes can they get for that damage? And that's kind of like what Blank's gonna look to
We've seen a
steal
lot
away.
of we've seen a lot of Vala, but I don't think a Vala Sylvanas combo would be that strong on this particular map. There's just not a lot of.
Uh-oh, there's one.
Uh-oh.
Is it gonna be
Oh, wow.
warriorless?
That's what I'm
This
talking
this
about.
could be warriorless.
And just have a lot of soak and try to pull ahead level wise in that just from the Vikings.
Yeah, and Kerrigan just kind of going around for these roaming ganks.
That would make sense. I wonder who they're going to put on Lost Vikings. Maybe, like, I thought Tiger JK would play the Kerrigan, but maybe they would put him on the Vikings. I know
Michael
he's
Udall
played it
could
before.
play
Oh, does
Vikings
he?
too. Yeah,
Okay.
I think a few of them actually. Barcode could play them. I think they have a few options here. We'll find out very soon.
Very exciting.
But the final
I
pick.
can't wait to like cast and critique and be like, I would have done something different. You know, talk a little bit of trash. No, no, no.
Good. That's the way to do it. A StarCraft player, elitist mentality. I like it.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting. It's they're just so fragile with Vikings, and what works out for them is I feel like one of the main components that counter Vikings is something that's really quick at picking something off, like
Hmm.
the Zertul. And the Zertul being already banned out, do you think Ponies would actually go for a weird pick like a Nova? Because that's a hero that could easily pick off a Viking constantly
Ah.
in the
Well, before we
Arthas.
talk about Nova, it's going to be Arthas. Arthas hasn't been played in competitive North American meta in many, many, many months. Every time we've seen it, it's been abysmal. It's
Yes.
failed.
Yeah.
But the classic combo is Kerrigan and Arthas. This is a very old school thing, and with Uther, that's also another thing that complements this. There's a lot of lockdown, a lot of combo potential, and the body blocks available on Vikings. This could be really fun.
hmm And they just have a lot of front line here. You got four melee heroes, and then like well, I mean Vikings. It doesn't kind of count, but it does because there's just so many of them, and like you said, the body block potential. Wow, and the Tychus goes down. This is gonna be interesting. Seems like ponies really favor that Tychus. I mean, it's never been a strong pick or a top tier pick, but they seem to think that it can work. And I don't know. I feel like they lack a lot of damage to really pull these Vikings down. Besides the Jaina.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. This is actually a very similar draft to the last one. Going with the Tychus, the potential for that double promote. Difference being they don't have a Nubarak. Nubarak was banned out. Maybe this is Blank's way of saying, well, we kind of know what you're looking for already, and just going to get rid of that push potential that does exist. But they still have double promote plus melting point and the wave clear on Jaina. And if that level 1 talent on Johanna, I don't know the name of it yet because I'm a scrub, but Condemn, an ability where you pull everything in, 4-second stun on minions and mercs. There's a lot of push potential here.
Yeah, I think I mean obviously on Blink's side they need to utilize these Lost Vikings, get a lot of soaking going, set up mixed matches. Like you have this big map, three different lanes. If you can put a 2-1 Viking setup where you have Olaf in one lane and then the two smaller Vikings in the other lane, and you're soaking, and then you can have doing your own merc camps, doing their merc camps. This map's so big, there's so much you can do on it. That's why Lost Vikings makes sense. But can they properly do that? Controlling Lost Vikings is always a difficult thing. We spoke on it a lot. They're
Yeah.
very fragile. It's going to be tough. They have their tools, but keeping those Vikings alive, making sure they don't dive, soaking properly. If they can do that, they're going to be in a really good position, and
Huck,
it's up to Ponies to deny that.
how excited are you to watch the
I'm
Vikings in action?
insanely excited. Like I'm gonna be pretty harsh. Maybe we'll see. They
Uh-oh.
mess up too much. I'm gonna be like, that was rough. It's
Yep.
just gonna be something you got to constantly watch out for because this game is gonna be all about denying that fact, constantly picking them off and keeping the soaking down because that's where the Vikings, you could be at level 12, level 13 compared to a team and not even like gank them that much or have this huge lead. It's just the fact that the Vikings are on the map and they're so much better at soaking than every other hero. So you got to keep them down, man. You got to beat them down and keep them down. And that's a hard thing to do when Vikings are in the right hands.
Well, if it wasn't enough pressure to have to be up an opposing team in a tournament like this, now you have Papa Huck critiquing you on
Papa
air.
Huck,
That's
Papa
excellent.
Huck.
That's a
Well,
privilege.
we'll see. These guys, I mean, Blank is like they have a lot of great players on their team, so I think they're going to be able to do it. I hope so, for everybody's sakes, and I'm hoping for a great game here. Dragonshire, what like my favorite hero on my favorite map? This is the dream right here.
The delivery. This is full on Huck Satisfaction 101 enabled. But yeah, this map is, of course, very fun to watch. First time we will be seeing Dragonshire played today. There are 2 shrines at the top and bottom of the map. If you control both of them, you are enabled the power of a Dragonite if you are able to capture it in the center lane.
Yeah, and having control of those shrines for such a long time, that's the big variable here. That's why I love this map. It's because it's not such a dictated thing.
Right.
You could go the whole game without having a dragon. It's unlikely, but it's not a guaranteed thing. And we could see just one little tiny Viking, one of these little guys here, getting in there, getting control of Big Papa Dragon.
We could. It's the power of that hero. I need to fix my graphic. Yes, we are good. On the blue side, that is in fact Team Blank, currently up 1-0. And on the red side, that is the Ponies, the Pomona Ponies? I want to call them Panda Ponies, and that just sounds really weird.
They all have pony mounts too. Look at that.
My little goatee, I call them.
Your little goatee?
Yeah, that's what they're called. Wait, Brightwing, why isn't she riding one?
Oh no. She's
All right.
cute though. At least she's cute.
She's Princess Brightwing. She's the queen of the ponies.
Yeah, there you go. And it looks like they're gonna go for a 3 Viking top. I always like to split Vikings 2-1, but Vikings are one of the strongest laners because they have 3 members, they have a lot of damage, they have a lot of micro ability, and you can do, like you said, that body block. It looks like they're just gonna immediately clear this bottom lane, and what they're gonna be looking to do is rotate immediately down and try to clear that one as well. And they're just going to pace back and forth between these mid and bottom lanes.
Yes, the lanes are actually a little bit different length. The middle lane will always get there first and allow you to soak both of these lanes. And there's no... we do have the one Conjurer's Pursuit, so yes, Uther will benefit by collecting the additional globes to have more mana regen throughout the game, but there is no bribe or anything of that like.
Yeah, and they're just going to... like this is going to be the next few minutes for them, just constantly clearing it. And Olaf having such good regen. For those of you that don't know, Olaf is the tankiest of the Vikings, and as long as he's out of combat, he will regen insanely quickly, and that's why you can keep putting him in the thick of it and then pulling him back and going back and forth. They're going to try to set up on this Brightwing. They're going to get everything they want on it. Tiger JK on that Kerrigan, as I said before, just such a beast, and they're going to be able to easily get this bottom shrine.
Yeah, but they took a lot of damage in return for that aggression they put down. It will, in fact, pick up that one takedown, but not really going to buy them as much experience or pressure as you might imagine, unless, of course, they do manage to capture the Dragonite in the middle lane.
Yeah, as you can see, the middle shrine is being powered up by the north and the south. It just got deactivated from the bottom lane, but they need a good amount of time to capture that.
Oh my gosh!
3-man stun? 2-man stun? He pulled all 3 and at least stunned 2.
Yep.
That's the potential of Kerrigan. In the right hands, such as Tiger JK, almost an automatic kill as long as you can land everything.
And lighting that the Howling Blast of Arthas down to lock that one target in place makes it so very easy and almost guaranteed to do that. Getting the perfect angles, and wow, yes, Michael Udall is going to hop into that Dragonite.
Yeah, and as you can see, he uses just one of the Vikings. He's still got 2 at the top soaking, got Uther at the bottom, and this is the power of the Vikings. They're soaking every single lane. They still get their dragon. They're pulling down the gate. This is to the T textbook play from the Blink side.
Yeah, rotating, yeah, just incredible aggression between bottom and middle, and having the Vikings just have that top lane in lockdown. They can really just bully back Johanna no matter how much efficiency, how much pressure she can put on. The Vikings heal up so quickly as long as you have Olaf in the front and you micro back Eric and Balog.
Yeah, and you can still have the Dragon. The Dragon Knight, that's Vikings right now at the bottom. They have to commit 3 members to defend this Viking, and at the same time, they're pushing mid, they're still soaking top, they're not even going to lose that Viking. Everything is possible, and the Johanna's immediately going to start getting attacked. He shouldn't die, he's so tanky, but at the same time, he's going to take a lot of damage. He's actually going to be very close.
Wow, you're going to be able to get out of there using that trait to escape, but in the middle lane, there's a bit of aggression going onto the opposing side. Horseman's taking so much aggression here. The stun comes out, the Envenom from Sylvanas, and Kerrigan in the back lane, not going to be able to find Hotshot Jai. And, oh, but the route onto Alteration, he will end up falling.
Close, Kerrigan could go down, Uther coming down with the heal. Very close engagement. Tychus almost going down as well. Tazadar having some key shields there. Kerrigan not exactly hitting every spell that she needed, but Blank do still come out 1 kill to nothing in that engagement.
And they have that full level lead right now. That does give them the level 7 talents. We see Cleanse for Uther, the Rune tab that's going to give the more tankiness, more healing, self-healing for Arthas, battle momentum. That just means more spells being cast more frequently for Kerrigan, and the unstable poison, the push potential becomes ridiculous on Sylvanas.
And look at this, they can 3-man do mercenaries. They got a Viking in each lane. They're still getting all the XP they need, and they're in complete control of the game. They're soaking every single lane. They can still contest these mercs. Brightwing's going to get picked off. They're everywhere. They're going to get both siege camps.
Wow.
Every lane. It's just they're pulling ahead in levels. They're pulling ahead in objectives. They have everything they would want in this game thus far.
And it's rough because not only did Brightwing spend one of those bribe stacks, but she fell. And it's just so very painful to see that happen. We do see that Hotshot will once again fall on Tychus. They're trying to bully them back, but these bruisers have made their way. Those siege giants throwing their boulders from a safe distance. Tesla are trying to shield up that bottom tower, but it's gonna go down.
Yeah, he's just buying, trying to delay it, but Sylvanas is such a good pusher. They have such good damage. They're constantly, and still the Vikings controlling every single lane. We got 2 top, gonna get that shrine, gonna push the lane. They're gonna continue to do mercenaries at the bottom, and they can still get the dragon, and he's gonna get it.
Oh no, she could have used the blind to interrupt, but she was a little bit late there. A little attack did not interrupt the Dragonite, and Michael Udall is just AFKing with it.
Yeah, well, Vikings are hard, I guess, is the excuse. He's setting up, switching lanes, and one of the Vikings are going to go top with the dragon, the other 2 are going to push mid. Meanwhile, they got 4 members bottom. I mean, they're too split. The Vikings have too much potential. They're all over the place. They're able to do every single merc camp. They can get both shrines, they can capture the Dragonite, they can push every single lane. And right now, it just seems like Ponies, they're completely confused. They don't know what to do. They're not getting the ganks they need to get. They're getting pushed in every lane. They have no tempo. They're trying to set up something here, but there's just so much happening. Even if they ganked and killed every member in this bottom lane, they're still getting pushed top. They're still getting pushed mid. They're going to try to set something up, and they just over the wall even.
Yeah, that's the power of Kerrigan. She can just pull you out of your comfort zone. You think you're safe in your house, and you just get pulled through your doorway into oblivion. Wheeling arrow to make sure that takedown was in fact successful. And the Vikings, with that Dragonite, did do a fair amount of damage in the top lane. A 3-level lead here for Blank over the Ponies.
Yeah, and they're gonna hide in this bush, try to figure out if they can get a pick. I think they're gonna go northbound, try to take out this fort. But it's going to be really hard when the gate just got down. Fort's full damage, Tychus half health, but they can't really go deep. Sylvanas going to deactivate a lot of buildings here, freeze those creeps, and Arthas is going to come in, AoE down this heroes. Can he get on top of anybody? I feel like this fort's just a little too healthy for them to really dive that deep this early.
It's going to be tough, but with Sylvanas, they can do quite a bit of just cheeky plays. Keep things locked down. If they're applying that aggression, we do see the root does go down the combo onto Brightwing very quickly. Will eliminate her, and the condemn from Johanna not going to be enough to dissuade this Divine Shield Maelstrom Kerrigan from pushing in, and it does connect with alterations.
Jada barely making out with her life. And meanwhile, we got Tychus mid defending 2 Vikings. 1 more Viking in the south. They're still out soaking, out pushing. Everything is going so well for Blank.
It's so hard to respond to that. Level 13 has been hit. That's going to be that full talent advantage. We do see sprint on Kerrigan. If she wasn't hard enough to get away from, try now.
Yeah, she can wave clear, she can engage, she can disengage. She has so much damage, so much stun. They're going to get a 3v3 engage, 4 with the Brightwing blinking in. They're going to try to chase down this Uther, but they might get re-engaged on. They're setting up in the south. Kerrigan's going to try to buy some time. Pulls 2 members.
Wow, that was a big shrink ray out of Uther to make sure that was a easy setup there. Lilitaka will end up falling in the backline. There's a lot of aggression. We do see the Emerald Wind go off, but Brightwing will fall 4 for nothing in that turnaround.
Yeah, and the Viking, everything went so well. It's like even if they take the best engagement possible, Blank is on point. They're still going to rotate up. They're going to protect their members. He's going to send 1 Viking south to soak / cap the shrine, and then they're going to get another Dragonite. Even if they don't have the Dragonite, they're still pushing. Olaf going to set up here. He's going to hop into that big boy. And
that's perfect. That's the power of Vikings.
Dragon in a row.
A single hero just split across the map and picked up the Dragonite while the rest of the team pushed. That is how good Vikings are on this map.
Yep, cap both shrines plus grab the dragon plus soak each lane and have 4 members of your team constantly pushing. This is why Vikings are a top tier hero, in my opinion.
And talk about team bonding. They all went back to base to tap the well together, just have a drink together, make sure that they're all nice and well, not thirsty for that mana, and they can push forward with this next Dragonite. 15-11 right now, man.
Yeah, if you look at the XP contribution, we have Vikings at 15, almost 16,000. Every other person in the game at about 5k or lower. That is the power of Lost Vikings, and they are absolutely destroying this game in every single way. I can't brag enough about Michael. We got a big engage here.
But look at the Maelstrom on Kerrigan, keeping her alive. The Wheeling Arrow hits 3 targets at once. That is going to make Tassadar end up falling. Lilitaka on Johanna, not going to be able to get out of this. Not attacking today, and that Odin is just a nice big target. Longboat Raid is even bullying Brightwing already back to their Nexus.
Yeah, this is almost all she wrote already. They're just so far ahead from the XP contribution. They controlled the game. My hat's off to Michael here.
You're a fan.
I can't critique something that is being played very, very well. So congratulations to him.
Told you he's a technical player, man. He's good.
Yeah, their whole team has been on point today. Seems like it's gonna be 2-0. I mean, at this point for Ponies, you gotta start picking people off. You gotta get an engagement somewhere. You gotta force something, because the longer this goes, the worse it's gonna get.
While Norse Force has been used on the Vikings, we see that Tychus and Johanna chasing down Olaf. Will they be able to pick him off? It looks like Jump is on cooldown, so yes, that is a nice pickoff, denying that soak in the top lane, forcing the hand for Blank to back on out from this bottom lane aggression.
I mean, that's a great kill, but once again, the power of the Vikings, that's 0.25 of a kill. It's not even a whole one. I mean, it's bittersweet. You get one, and then you're like, I mean, okay, I guess that's fine. But, you know, 2/3 of that champion are still out on that map, still contributing to the game, and you had to commit 2 or 3 members just to kill that one guy.
Yeah, that's true, and that's a lot of resources to expend, and especially when they just fall back and pick up mercenary camps, bruisers in the top, giants in the bottom. The shrines will be active in 20 seconds, Huck.
Yeah, and every single lane is pushing for Blank. It's just going to be really, really difficult. They need to force something here. I feel like they need to either commit to the middle or commit to one shrine. They can't try to split. They can't send 1 or 2 members north, 1 or 2 members south, and 1 middle. And it's just, it's so hard. They're trying to party bush here at the southern shrine, but, you know, they'll take the top shrine with 1 Viking. They'll push with the rest, and they'll, you know, take down this gate, possibly this this keep.
It's not looking good, especially with Sylvanas and just the damage there. 4-level lead. Shrines, 1 on each side. We see the blue shrine on the top, red shrine in the bottom. So the Dragonite not available for either team, but this keep is under heavy aggression.
Yeah, and Kerrigan's going to look to go in here. Johanna trying to zone them out. Jaina getting chopped up by the Kerrigan, already on top, getting absolutely destroyed. Longbow coming out. There's just so much damage. They're constantly retreating, trying to disengage. Brightwing getting caught again by Tiger JK. Just always landing the pull, always landing the stun. Tassadar going to be caught out. Should die. And now they're just going to push for the win. Tyke is being the only one up left, but he just doesn't have enough damage to really do anything.
I got to give a lot of credit to Artificus, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, on Brightwing, because he got in there with the sprint and he used Emerald Wind to really disrupt the team. It was almost enough, but the Divine Shield on Kerrigan just powering through the team and the level disadvantage just made it pretty much all for nothing.
Yeah, every single big fight, Kerrigan went ham, jumped deep in the paint, and every single fight, Uther just followed up with that divine shield and gave her the time to set everything in place for the fight. Jaina not really able to set up or like constantly use the spells that she needs to use because she's just always got the Kerrigan in her face, always grilling her.
Right. It was convincing, but that's the power of blank. Congrats to them. They will